Hello and welcome to Amethyst Star Crafting. My name is Jane Allmark and I'm a UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. And today I thought we would look at a stamp set in the annual catalogue that's been around for a little while. It is Crafting Forever and it's got some just lovely things in there for doing for all of us who are avid crafters. It also has the copyright stamp. So if you are selling anything or putting anything on, you've got the copyright Stampin' Up which covers the angel policy. If you look on the website, it'll tell you all about it, but it's one of the stamp sets that has it, so it's very useful anyway. But I love all the images on here. I've used it lots and lots and lots, and today I thought we would do a masculine birthday card. So we need, we're going to use the pens for this one, and we need a piece of a base piece, which is going to measure, for me, it measures 5 1/4 by 3 1/2, but wherever you are in whatever country, you can use it whatever, where you want. And we're going to use it portrait. So let me just get a block. And we're going to put this on the block, and then we're going to use some black. And I'm using Memento Tuxedo Black today. I use different blacks, but this is quite a good one if we're using blends, because it's water-based, and it means that you can use the blends virtually straight away on it, as long as it's not too juicy. If it's too juicy, you have to wait a little while for it to dry. But it should be fine for this. So I'm just going to make sure that I've inked it up nicely. And we are going to what I call random stamp on here. Now I'm just going to take a piece of copy paper to put underneath so that then it doesn't make too much of a mess on the piece underneath, only so that you can then see. And we are going to literally just sort of, let's take the first one right sort of up in the corner here. And it can be slightly on and slightly off. And then we're going to take another one. Let's take this one. We need to sort of do it in different directions. So I'm going to have another one maybe in the same sort of angle, but just about there, like that. Then I'm going to turn it round and do it in different directions. So I'll have one coming in this way, like that, and we'll have the other one coming out the other way. So doing it from just the handles, we'll have that out that way, like that. Okay, so you've got 4 on there. You can do as many as you want. It's entirely up to you, but I just thought that would work quite nicely. So let me just clean that off with a Simply Chamois. Like that, and then I can put that back in the case. And then we are going to, before we do any colouring, we're going to just have some, we want it to be a birthday card, and I'm going to make this, I think, a masculine birthday card, I think. Sometimes it's quite difficult to do masculine ones. Now, what I want to do is, because the space in here is quite small, I want to put a small happy birthday in here. So, wonderful moments. There's a tiny little happy birthday, which is rather nice. And so we're going to use that one. So let me just find this in on here. There we go. So we'll take this one out, and we should, will it fit in on this one? No, I need to just get another block out. So let's take the next block up, that one. I could put it on the word blocks, but I think that this will be absolutely fine. So just put it in on here. Because it's photopolymer, it's rather good because you can see it how you want. If you don't want it to stretch, put the happy birthday down and then take your block to it, because then you know that it's not sort of overstretching. And I'm going to do it in black, because I want it to be, let's put it that way down. I want it to just go in between. So I'm going to take one up on the top here, as if it's print, so some of it will come through. So we'll have a happy birthday in on there. I think I'm going to have one down here. Like that. Then I want to turn it, and I'm going to do one down on here that way. Yes, I think 3's perfect for that. I could add more if I wanted to, but I think I'm just going to keep it like that. I will show you one that I did earlier on just as an experiment. And I did some more, but I think 3 is probably just about right for this one. And then it's down to choosing the colours that you think are going to work perfectly with this. And using blends, it's always a nice thing. I'm just going to put that in on there for now. Choosing blends, it makes it a nice sort of way to colour. You can use any of our mediums, but I think the blends are quite nice. So I'm just going to put it down on here now so we can see it a little bit better. And put my copy paper down. So let me get some blend colours out. I think we're going to have it in various shades of sort of blue. So I have got, what have I got here? I've got dark and light balmy blue. I've got pool party, dark and light. I've got Bermuda Bay, light and dark. And I've got mint macaron as well. You can see how the colours are sort of nice bluey sort of green tones, which I think will look quite nice. Okay, so that's the colour palette that we're going to use. Let me put them up this way so that they're not completely in my way. Okay, so we want the little flower on here. Now I'm going to do that flower in, let's do it in, I'm going to do it in the light Bermuda Bay. So I want the bullet tip, and we're going to do this one. Now it's quite a little image, and as you know, when I'm colouring smaller images in, I do little dots because then it stops it from bleeding through. It's a very small image, so you don't need to do lines and things because you run the risk of it bleeding through. So just little dots round on here, and then we can pick up the next one. So we've got another one down on here. Like this. I find doing colouring quite therapeutic. You know, you can actually get lost in, particularly if I'm doing sort of watercolour pencils or something like that. You know, you can sit for quite a while just doing your colouring in. Okay, so that's that one. We've got this one here. round on this bit. And as I say, you can spend as much time as you want really on it. Oh, we've got another one up here. So let's do this one. But you can see if you use the Memento, it's water-based and it then doesn't bleed through. If you've just re-inked it, then you have to wait a little bit for it to dry. But if it's not too juicy, which mine isn't, then it works really quite well and you don't get that sort of slightly dirty look where it blends through from there. Okay, so that's that one. And then we need to do, I think I'm going to take, we need some yellow, don't we? So I'm going to have the centre. This is Dark Daffodil Delight. So let's, I do struggle sometimes with the lids of these, but that's my hands. So I'm just going to do the centre of these in the Daffodil Delight. So just the little centres of these little flowers. Because I think centres of flowers should be yellow. Well, particularly on these ones. I'll just take this one. So I hope you're all doing well at the moment and managing with the self-isolation, lockdown, staying at home. We're in the UK where we've just done 3 weeks today, and so it is a bit of a struggle not being able to see family and friends and things, particularly over this Easter weekend. But it's everybody is doing their bit, and that's the nice thing. So now the leaf one, I'm actually going to add some green to this. I'm going to use this is light old olive actually, which I think will be quite nice. Let's see if this is the one that's it. So there's nice little leaves on these ones, so we're going to do the leaves in the old olive. And we've got one here. I do think that the designs on these little pens are really rather nice. It makes them quite pretty. And as I say, you can do them all in one colour and just sort of do them quite quickly, but it's quite nice to do different sort of colours and things. So I'm doing these in the greens. So you can just take these little tiny green bits in on there. And we've got one up on here. Let's turn it round. As you can see, I always turn my paper round as I'm going, because then it makes it easier for me to see what I'm trying to colour in. So don't worry about turning your paper as you go. It tends to make it a little bit easier. Now, I'm not doing lights and darks and things with this because the image is a bit small for doing that. So I'm literally just doing the pieces in like that. Now we'll have the stripe on the pen. Shall we have it a dark stripe, or shall we have it a... Let's do a... I'm going to use this blue on here, I think. So this is dark balmy blue. So let's get the top off of there. And this is where your eyes start going funny, because you've got to just do the centre stripe of this. So sort of every other one. and that down. And when you get to these little ones, it's quite, you have to sort of watch your eyesight because, well, for me you do. If you've got really young eyes, it's probably fairly easy, but if you've got older eyes like I have, you have to just look to see where you're going and make sure you're doing every other one and not sort of the ones in the middle. There we go. It's got this one to do. Run that through. Little one there. That one. But you can see what lovely coverage you do get with the blends. They're really nice to use. And I love all the different colours. You know, the colours match our ink pads beautifully. Okay, so that's the basic colouring on those done. Now, I think we're going to use, we want to sort of tone some of these in. So I'm going to use some really pale ones. So I'm going to use this one, which is the Light Pool Party. And we're going to, let's take this, come on. There we go. I'm going to take this one with the Light Pool Party, I think. So I'm literally just colouring the whole of the rest in with the Light Pool Party and the stripes down. And you can then, if you want to, go right the way across, because you don't need to. You've got your dark pieces down. Because this is a very pale colour, you can just take it through and then just very carefully just do the handle pass on that one. Okay, so that's the blue one. Let's just do this one on here. So as I say, you can take your lines through and then just go along the edges, because you can make sure that everything sort of tones in. Take the little handle out of there. This one. And I think with the pens it's quite nice to tone everything in the same colour. You can do them separately if you want, but I'll show you the one that I did, as I say, at the end, as my sort of experiment of playing around with this one. And it didn't, I don't think it toned in as nicely as the way this one is going to do. So take that through on here. Just round on there. We got any more? No, that's those done. Okay, so then I'm going to take on the green one. What should we do with that green one? I do like that green. I want to tone something in with that, but take it maybe just a little bit darker on there. I might choose, let's choose, oh, this one I'm going to choose. I've got the Bermuda Bay. I'm going to choose this one, which is the, I think it's the dark mint macaron. So that's going to be on the, that's going to be on this part, I think, because that will go quite well with, but I'm not going to do the inside bit just yet. I'm going to do that in a different colour, I think. So that's that one. So they're quite pastel looking, but I don't mind that too much. I quite like pastels. You could do them vibrant. You could do them if you were doing it for maybe a younger person's card. You could do it in sort of primary colours. Really down to you how you sort of feel about it. I'm just sort of doing things that I think that I like the look of, and they're sort of toning enough that it makes them look quite pretty without making them too intricate looking, if you see what I mean. This little one down here. So we'll get this one in like that. Okay, so I still want to do, I don't know quite what I'm going to do with that one. Ooh, should we have another sort of blue that'll tone in with that blue? What's this one? This is light balmy blue. So I'm taking all the sort of tones and just making sure that everything tones in together. And again, I'm not going to do the inside of this one just yet, because I think I'm going to do that in something else to just tone it down a bit. Again, I'm doing my little dotty bits along on there, and I'm not doing right on the point of that one. So we've got this one in here. As I say, I want everything to tone in, but not be sort of precise, as it were. So we'll just take this one up through on there. We've got that one. In on here. I use the bullet point when I can open it more than any of the others, because I find it gives you a little bit more control. Okay, so that's that bit done on there. Now I'm going to take a neutral, so I want light smoky slate. So let's take them light smoky slate, and that's going to give me the point of the pens, because your pens aren't going to be, they're either going to be silver or gold on a fountain pen, and on a ballpoint. So I think for me the smoky slate is sort of the nearest that you're going to get to give that sort of colouring on there. Okay, now I just need to tone in these two pieces on there. So I think, oh, what should we do? Should we do it brighter? Should we do it lighter? Should we do it? It's fairly sort of neutral, but I quite like it. I think I might continue with the smoky slate, actually, because I think that will just tone things in neutrally. So I'm just going to go round on this part of the pen, in between the flowers, in the smoky slate. And it's quite good to choose a neutral, because the neutral won't, and I'm going to do it the same in between these ones as well. So just in between where these leaves are, you can see I'm doing my dotty motion because it's quite a small area. And then what I don't want is for it to bleed over the edges, but as I say, if you do it in just little dots, then it's not going to bleed over the edge because you're not releasing too much of the alcohol. Let's take that one through on there. Take that just through on there. And is that it? No, I've got a couple, just those little two, and then that's it. I must admit I've been doing quite a lot of things that take a while, colouring and things like that, because you can lose yourself for an hour or two doing something which is, you know, isn't a quick, fast card. The stamping can be quite fast, but the colouring then takes a while. And at the moment, we have as much time as we want, because we can't go out shopping, we can't go out and visit friends. So most of our time is inside, or if we're lucky enough to be out in the garden if the weather's nice. And so doing things that take a little bit more time doesn't really matter now. We're not sort of rushing around trying to fit everything into our day. We can spend time doing things as we want it. Right, okay, so I think that looks quite nice now. I think that's taken all of the colours, all of the blues and things, which is quite good. Let's put these back in here. So we used the light and the dark on the mint macaron. We used I've got the card from the other day, it keeps falling over. The light and the dark on the pool party. The balmy blue. So as I say, you can use whatever colours you want and just literally take the tones in together. We used a green, which was the light old olive, and then we used our neutral, which was the light smoky slate. So that's quite a pretty sort of subtle card. Let me see what background we're going to do with this one. I always try and look and see what backgrounds and things I've got about. Now we could take pool party and make it really nice and pretty and subtle in there. Oh yes, that would actually look really nice, because that teams up all of those colours. So that's not actually the right size. I think I need to trim that one down a bit, but that sort of gives you the colours on here. I don't think I'd take it lighter. I might take it darker. What have I got? I've got a darker blue here. Let's just have a look to see. I know it's not the same colour in there, but it goes with the blues, and you see that would work quite nicely as well, because that just sort of pops it up a little bit. So, you know, you can take whatever you want, but that shows you just one idea. And this was the one that I did to start off with, which is a lot busier. I put the happy birthday in on every single... I put the happy birthday in between on every single one, and it just fitted. And so again, it's another idea. It's got more black. It pops a bit more, and I would put it onto a black. Let me have a look and see if I've got a black in here. I should have a black somewhere. Here we go. There's a black one. So I would put that on a black border. And as I say, that is a bit busier. So you've got two different sort of ideas depending how much you put on it. I prefer this one. It's more sort of clean and simple. although I did quite enjoy doing the colouring on that. But you can see when I turned around and said about the gold and greys, I didn't like the yellow, and I coloured these using our Stampin' Right markers. So I didn't use blends for that one, but you can use whatever you want. As I say, you can use watercolour pencils as well. But a fun idea. Thank you so much for watching me. As always, stay safe, stay well, and look forward to seeing you again. Bye-bye.